Oh, hey, wake up, bud. So, did you not get enough sleep last night?
No, I've been on the phone waiting for a donor to call. Any donor at all. They're not calling. How am I supposed to raise all this money in major and planned gifts if these people aren't calling, Jeanne?
Persistence. Persistence.
Persistence waiting or persistence calling them?
Persistence waiting, persistence in planning, persistence in people. And know that we got the 3 P. Persistence, planning, and people. I feel like that guy in the commercial for the pricing for life insurance. You just gotta keep doing it.
Yeah, welcome everybody to another Cup of Joe with my guest host today, my friend Jeanne Troy.
Yeah, I got my Christmas mug. Good morning.
We'll post this one in December. And Jeanne is from Daza Development.
Yes.
Cool. In Pennsylvania, Harrisburgish area.
Central Pennsylvania, that encompasses quite a large area.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Lots of experience. Started at a very young age and lots of experience. How long have you been in the fundraising space, Jeanne?
Fundraising space almost 30 years. Consultant space 3. But 30 years of experience, you do get to see lots of interesting things. Makes you shake your head and think, oh, I'm not going to do it like that myself when I get a chance. So, you sift through your experiences and you pick the ones that really worked and clicked and did the best with the donors for all facets, whether it's major and planned giving or if it's just an event or something. But about 30 years, so I have lots to draw from.
Awesome. And what do you think fundraising is going to be like in? Let's see, if we look at the baby boomers, I'm at the tail end, so I'm 63. So the next generation, yeah, I mean, especially, I do a lot of my work is on the phones, calling donors. And people say, anybody answering the phone anymore? To your point, persistence, just keep calling, not to the point of annoying them, but many times,
right.
I'll go into a database and I'll see some former gift officer's note, and they made one attempt to call somebody, and that was it. Left voicemail, and then nothing else. So it's that persistence. But 20 years from now, what?
So we're such a technology driven world in everything. I mean, even in how people make gifts, you make it online, you make it through PayPal, Venmo, whichever, but you also use crypto. There's many different ways that people make gifts. And how can I put this? Those of us that have been in the business a longer time may be slightly resistant to change because it's not the way we used to do it. And if it's one phrase, I absolutely positively hate to hear it. This isn't how we used to do it. This is not the way we used to do it. We've done it this way. Okay. You got to go where the donors are. If the donors are mobile, so are you. If the donors give crypto, get with the plan, learn about it, use it. If they do NFTs, same thing. Go where the donors are. And I think that's where the younger generation eventually will get to with crypto and NFT being so new, although there's been some high well-known figures that have been using it and raised money for it for different things. But if you don't go where the donors are, then you're going to be stagnant. And you can't be stagnant in fundraising. Can't be stagnant in major and planned giving. Can't be stagnant in working with people and companies who want to do something different. And they hear you say, oh, but that's not how we did it, sir donor. No, let's go a little forward here. And you just got to try different things. I mean, if you don't try, you don't know. So be brave. That's what it is. It's a leap of faith that what you're going to do just might work. And then you could be the poster child for crypto donations or NFTs and have all this money coming in. Crypto's coming back. So that's a pretty good example to use because it did tank there for a while after all that stuff.
Yeah.
But it is coming back.
Question regarding the board. So run across a number of organizations, smaller, really just starting an individual giving program. And there has been no expectations with the existing board for either a give or get or 100% board participation. And so how do you suggest people go in to that culture environment and say, okay, we're gonna change. We need to revise our policies, and we hope you'll be on board.
Be on board.
If not,
so
yeah.
And that's a conversation. That's a good question, actually. There's a conversation that I've had with a lot of different clients, a lot of different nonprofits. You know, I have a board, but or my board doesn't do this, but well, let's work on getting that butt out of there. Okay, no pun intended.
Kick that butt out of there.
Well, you know, if you're on a board, and I always say this to people, ask your board why they're on the board. Are they there because, oh, my name looks nice on the list of names on the side of the paper? Oh, and I'm on the webpage, and darn, that's a good picture of me. Is that why they're on it? Because if it is, sorry, you can go on an advisory committee. Their talents may be better as an advisory, as a fundraising committee, as a finance committee, as anything but a board member. And that's not easy to tell a board member. I had to do that the other week, actually, with a client who wants to do things his own way, and the board sees it differently and sees it in the right way. And so the board walked off.
I'm sorry.
The board walked off.
Walked off.
Yeah.
The whole board?
4 out of the 5.
Whoa. Wow.
Right. And so I don't say that lightly. It was a really difficult decision for this board to make, but we've talked about it for months about if we position things this way, what are you going to do? If we position it this way, what are you going to do this way? All the scenarios, the possible scenarios that could have happened to try to get this organization back on its feet. We talked about, and it's uncomfortable conversations, but this is a board that was united in doing what was right. They're a board. The role of a board is to do what's right for the organization. Be fiduciary, responsible board members. You know, if there's something that seems to be high risk and you don't want to do it, then you don't vote for it. Okay, so if you're listening and you're have a board that's kind of sitting there going, don't know what they want to do, give them their roles and responsibilities. If you're a board listening who thinks I really have to up my ante with the board, do a board audit. You know, find out where your strengths are. By finding out where your strengths are from your board members, you'll find out where your weaknesses are and where you have to go to plug in to find the strength that you need on that board. But on the give, get, or my favorite line, give money, get money, or get off the board. I love that line because it pretty well sums up. Another politer one would be step up or step off. Funders, if you're going for grants and things like that, want to see 100% board participation financially. I'm going to make that the caveat. They want to see 100% board participation financially. Whether that means you give $1 or you give $100,000, if everybody gives, you can, in all ethical honesty, say, my board gives 100%. They don't have to know how much. They just know that the board does. So to get a board to give, maybe have it as I'm a big competitive person here. I'm from the Philly area, so we tend to be, you know, a little bit on I challenge you to do this thing. But put together a board amount. If the board raises as a whole throughout the fiscal year $10,000, then they have a whole year collectively to raise that money. That could be a challenge grant, a challenge fund to spur the public on for a program or a capital need or something like that. But I mean, that's their job. You're a board member for a reason, because you bring something to that board. You have to figure out what that is. And so does the executive director and the board committee. The nominating committee needs to figure that out too.
So when you're walking into an environment, would you announce the step up or step off in front of the whole group in a presentation, or would you do it one-on-one? Do you think I think
when you're it depends on how old, meaning how many years the people have been on the board. If you have a younger board, the roles and responsibilities are board members that you are to give money yourself and to get money. If that's something you find you can't do, then perhaps you're better used in an off-board role. But it can be said out loud to everybody in a probably more tactful way than I would normally do it, although it seems to work for me.
And I like that advisory board. Why not? Right. We don't want to cut ties and we don't want to alienate.
Right. We don't want to, what gifts you do bring, we'd like to keep them. And, I just think advisory boards are a way to keep people who might have served far too long, but still have ties. I'm thinking of certain clients here. Or an advisory board are people who don't want to ask. God forbid you should ask for money. Oh my goodness.
What?
So they don't want to ask. You want me to ask my friends for money? Yeah, I do, but we'll get to that. They might be better used in the not asking part. They might be better used in the coordination of an event, in the working of the finances and helping to balance the books, in any other part. But oh my God, I have to ask. They may just be better used elsewhere or not at all. And that is that third option. That, they might be so tired that even being an advisory board member might not be the thing. And the executive director and the committee and the board president and exec officers have to recognize that and be willing to do something about it. I have huge kudos to the board that walked out united as a group, which would be enough to send anybody in a tizzy that, what was that, 75% of my board walked out. It would also make me sit up and think, what am I not doing as executive director? That they walked out. And their consultant walked.
One point in the survey that I send out,
before
we do the CupoJoe, you said your board is your voice too.
Mm-hmm.
What did you mean by that, Jeanne?
So so board members think that my job's not to be the voice of the organization. A lot of them think my job's just to be here and tell you what to do. Well, that's fully, but if you don't get out and talk about the organization that we're supposed to go out and raise money for, you are the voice of the organization. You're the face of it. All the staff are the face of it. Everybody is the face of the organization. Everybody. You need to be on the same page, be able to say the mission and vision statement concisely, but in your tone, none of these 50-word long mission and vision statements. No, people fall asleep by that time. They'll need a CupoJoe after that length of a mission and vision statement. But you're all together. You are the organization. Again, if that's something you don't want to be, then you need to reevaluate why you're on that board. Part of the roles and responsibilities. It all gets back to roles and responsibilities.
Good. Jeanne, this was great. Very helpful.
My pleasure.
How can people get in touch with you, Jeanne Troy, as a developer?
You could go to our website if you like, or you can email me at Jeanne, which is JEANNE @dazadevelopments.com.
That D as in David, A, Z
as in apple, right? A as in apple, Z as in zoo, and A as in Adam.
Awesome.
So dazadevelopment.com.
Thank you, Jeanne.
Thanks for having me.
My pleasure.
Talk to you soon.